Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sean Ray Realty. I am Sean Ray, and I thank you for coming back to this channel. It's been a while since I posted because I got injured and I had spinal surgery, and now I'm feeling a little bit 50%, 60% back to myself. So now I have a video for you guys. And I want to make sure this video is a good one for everyone out there right now that's still trying to invest. I have so many people saying all sorts of conflicting things. So I want to make sure to set the record straight and hopefully give you guys some good value by starting this video out with what is going on and then ending the video with how you can take advantage of it and what you need to do to still be successful in this market. So without further ado, let's get started. Before we actually get started, make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that kind of fun stuff. You guys should know how to do that by now. Okay, so what is going on? Right now in this market, we're seeing insane growth, and most people are saying, "Well, I'm not going to buy right now." This is one of my big pet peeves right now, is that I'm not going to buy right now because there's so much competition. I'm not wanting to buy whenever the market's really high, and it's totally a seller's market. I'm going to wait till it's a buyer's market again. Okay, cool. I understand that because historically speaking, that is always the way it is. You have this time wherever people can come in and scoop up really good deals, and then eventually it goes into a time where it's way too hot and there's too much competition, and then that's whenever people like investors and buyers need to start stacking cash and then waiting for the dip to come back and then pick up everything as it goes down. Historically speaking, yes, it happens every 10 years or so. But in this case, what's happening with the strange situations going on with the Fed and then what's going on with Corona and just the ability for people to work from home. So people are migrating all over different areas of the country, moving into rural areas, which Texas, Dallas, Houston, Austin are considered one of these smaller cities, believe it or not. That you're seeing so much demand, not only in home prices, but also in rental prices too. I'm an apartment locator and a real estate agent and an investor. And then when I first moved to Dallas, you can get nice luxury apartments for $1.70 to $1.80 per square foot. And then it started going up to $2. And now we're just seeing like $3 to $3.5 per square foot for apartments, which is nuts. I just got an apartment at this new high rise and it's like $3,000 a month, which to me is like, oh my God, that's someone's full-time salary. But at the same time, we have these crazy home sales as well. About 2 years ago, I was able to sell people that were Airbnb investors badass new nice homes in West Dallas for like 275, $300,000, and we're getting it like or 130 to $150 per square foot, and they're pulling in like 10 grand a month on Airbnb. Now we're super lucky to get anything around $200 per square foot, but we're really looking at like 220 to $230 per square foot. And so we're seeing these homes that used to be just not even 2 years ago, like $300,000 or less, they now could sell right now if they wanted to flip the homes, or like basically just take the homes they already bought, take all the money they did through Airbnb and sell them in today's market. They could sell these homes for $450,000 or more, depending on the home. So this is a crazy escalating market that you would think it's going to slow down and the bubble is going to pop. But it's not. This is not a bubble market. This is based on demand, and it's based on the fact the Fed has gave a whole bunch of money to the market. So now people are saving more than ever because they're locked inside, and they're getting stimulus checks, and they're getting the government to help them out with their money. I know people that still work from home or do side jobs, but yet they also got the government payout as well because they just had a way of working the system. And so we're now in this weird time in the market where people that if they wanted to stay in LA or New York, most of the people in New York, from my understanding from my realtor friends over in Florida, a lot of those New York, New Jersey, all those people are leaving those towns or those cities to go to Florida, whereas the California people are coming over to Texas. And so a lot of people that I help right now with buying homes are Californians. So it makes it really difficult for people that live in the city. We typically like to have appreciation rates of 3 to 6% if it's a really nice area, but we've seen appreciation rates, which basically means the price of the homes have just almost doubled in some of these areas, which is insane to me. So how do you as an investor take all this information and also in your mind know that there's not a better time to buy than now if you know that it's not going to fall apart? The only way that it's going to fall apart is if Biden's administration is going to raise the interest rates on loans or allow all the forbearance debt to be brought to the table, and everyone has to either pay all their forbearance or get the hell out of the house. Eviction moratorium hopefully is going to end sometime soon, and then therefore we're going to see a lot more inventory on the market. But the current administration is very against this idea of basically throwing people on the streets. And so with that, and also with them saying they don't really want to raise the rates, this is going to continue to be a really cheap market for people to get into home ownership when it comes to rates. But because of that, it's going to make the market consistently grow. So what do? That's the question that everyone keeps asking me. I'm going to wait, but no, you shouldn't wait because it's going to get more and more expensive. The home today that's $400,000 that you're having to pay $40,000 over list price for, which is $440,000 to get this home, in 6 months, sure, there might be less competition, but now that $440,000 overall home is going to be $450,000, $460,000, $470,000. So the longer you wait, the longer you try to save to do a bigger down payment. That way, it's not so expensive for you. Then the more expensive the home is going to end up being. So the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be. But I do have light at the end of the tunnel. There's going to be better options and more inventory come August, September. At the end of the year, you're going to see more inventory, which is great for those people that don't want to do the bidding wars. But they are going to be more expensive. And the reason why, if you guys aren't in real estate, is because every time there's a home that sells in the area, that's the new comp. That's the new comparable for the rest of the homes that are coming into that area. So if you have like a nice home and it's selling for $220, $225 per square foot, the next home is going to sell for $225 to $227 or $230 per square foot. And that's going to keep going up, keep going up. And so we're going to see areas like West Dallas that are not very nice end up renting for or end up selling their homes for like $300 plus per square foot, which is nuts because those homes still have bars in the windows on the old homes that are currently there. So next part, how do you take advantage of the situation and how do you need to change your mindset? Okay, so the 1% rule is dead. Get rid of that. Some markets it might still be working, but at least in my market in Dallas, Austin, Houston, the 1% rule is dead. Just get rid of that. From now on, you need to start thinking, and if you don't know what the 1% rule is, don't worry about it, watch my other videos. But what you need to start thinking about is just focus on the numbers, focus on the math. And so if you, say, for instance, are going to try to buy a year ago, you saw the success of people trying to get, $300,000 homes or making $10,000 to $15,000 a month. Don't think about the success that they had because they had a real great gravy train. We should have bought more homes that time, but we weren't able to for various reasons. But now we just got to focus on the market ahead. So right now, focus on the math. So if that home now in this area is $475,000, but you can make $10,000 to $12,000 a month on Airbnb because the prices for homes and rentals are going up, but the amount of revenue that we're getting on Airbnb is about staying the same. So you got to think to yourself, how much is the Airbnb risk worth it? Well, first of all, how much is it of a risk? And so if you focus on the math, then you have a $475,000 house on average. Let's say, for instance, you're buying $475,000 new build, two-story, very nice. It's going to do well on Airbnb. You might think that's a lot. I mean, if you put 5% down on this home, then it's going to be around $3,000 a month holding it before you do any kind of like the Airbnb host or before you do any of the Airbnb management and then the utilities and, all the extra, supplies and stuff that go with it. So you're probably going to be paying like $5K a month. Let's just stick with the overall holding cost, which is $3,000 a month. So if Airbnb for some reason gets regulated in Dallas or they shut it down or something like that, and now you're stuck with this $3,000 a month check that you have to keep on paying. Now, if things in the area, if homes in the area are renting for, you got to make sure when you buy the house, that house is going to be, I think, $220 per square foot. If you bought that $475,000 house and it was $220 per square foot, it's probably, just off the top of my head, 2156 or so per square foot. It's probably around $2,156 or 2,156 square feet. And so if you do the math, then you really need to make sure that the homes in the area, like that home, are renting for long-term 12-month leases are going for like $1.35 per square foot. And the reason why I know these numbers is because I see them all the time. And so if you know that the home that you're buying right now currently can pay for itself, if the other homes like it are $1.35 per square foot for average rentals, then you are not losing any money per month. Now, as time goes on and the home gets more and more valuable and the area gets more and more valuable, your taxes are going to increase, which means that you're going to have to end up paying more than that $3,000 a month. But hopefully, along with the tax increase and the growth in the area, you're also going to see the revenue coming from your rentals higher. So that $1.35 per square foot now today in 5 years, hopefully is going to be higher. You maybe $1.50, $1.60. And in that case, it's going to always take care of your what they call the nut. It's kind of weird to say, but that's called your nut. And so if you have your nut covered, uh, still kind of feel uncomfortable saying that, but we're going to go with it anyways. But as long as your nut is covered, then you now have not necessarily a profitable investment, but you have something that is appreciating month by month, year by year. It's going to get more and more valuable. And at the same time, renters that are in there, they're going to be paying down your loan. So at the end of the 30 years, now this $475,000 house could be worth up to $1 million, depending on what the market looks like in 30 years from now. And so you basically have a free $1 million check waiting for you in 30 years. So hopefully that is considered the worst scenario. The worst scenario is that in 30 years you're gonna have $1 million check waiting for you. Cool. But the best scenario is in the meantime, you're gonna have a home that's growing in equity, you're gonna have your debt pay off, and at the same time, you're gonna be making great revenue on Airbnb. Or, if Airbnb goes down, then hopefully we can make some revenue on a 12-month lease. So make sure you always focus on the math. I hope this makes sense to you guys. Mentally, make yourself okay with paying more money for rentals as long as you do the math right. And last thing I want to say is for you, watcher of this video, even if you're not an Airbnb investor, time has changed. We need to be aware that two things are happening. The cost of our money is going up. Inflation is happening. Or, no, I'm sorry, cost of our money is going down. The inflation is happening. And so if you have a lot of savings, then you're actually going to be losing money in that savings. Or as inflation, the hyperinflation starts to happen in the US economy, the safest place for you to put your money historically has been in real estate. And so if you're worried about what's going to happen to you in the future, then the best thing to do is just buy a house. Even if it's not for Airbnb or not for rentals, even if it's just for you, take the plunge, take the leap. And the reason why I say that is that once you have a house, then at least you have a way for your money to stop. Like this is where your money was bought in 2021, and this is the way it's going to constantly grow instead of de-escalate, instead of your money becoming less valuable, it's going to become more valuable because you're putting it into a house that's also growing its own equity as well. In my opinion, I don't believe that we're going to see the decline in home sales anytime soon. And if anything, I feel like it's going to be a very unhealthy future in front of us. And I believe that in the near future, now, if not in 5 years, we're going to see it to where only people that are making over $100,000 a year are going to be able to buy anywhere near any main city. And I know it sounds silly for people living in bigger cities, like I said, New York and California, but in Texas, that's not normal. I remember being able to sell homes to teachers that make $30,000 to $40,000 a year just a handful of years ago, and now that seems absurd. Everywhere in the suburbs, we're looking at $400,000 to $500,000 and up. And so, if you want to do something that really helps you and your future, and even if you don't have a family, your future family, then think about really just getting into it, looking at programs that help you with down payment assistance programs that get you into a house now. And then what you can do is you can rent out the other rooms to your friends, you can Airbnb out the other rooms, or at least you can move out and you can get an apartment that's a cheap apartment and use that whole home as a long-term rental or an Airbnb. Give yourself some opportunities to help yourself out in the future because you do not want to be the land of the renters that is about to happen. All the homes in the future are going to be owned by wealthy individuals, or they're going to be owned by people that are investors renting them out to other people that can't afford to get into these very expensive homes. Hopefully this has been some valuable information for you guys. Please change your mindset. Don't wait for something better to come because this is the best time to do it. And best of luck out there. I hope you guys are okay with in the future making $1,000, $2,000 profit, per month on your Airbnb. I know it sounds crazy again for those people who do traditional real estate. They're like, oh my God, if I just made $100, $200 a month, $500 a month cash, I'm winning. But we're used to making $6,000 plus a month in take-home revenue. So change your mindset, change your life. All right, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and wish me luck on this back. I want it to heal so I can get out and start running and being physical again. And also, it's my birthday. So as a birthday present, comment below. Tell me the next video you want me to record, because now hopefully I'll get back in the swing of things and start recording some videos now I'm feeling somewhat more like myself. All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you over on Instagram at Sean Ray Realty. Later.